Just hours, the duo dubbed Chuck and Nancy will come here to the White House looking for a deal to reopen the government. And it does come on the heels of making their own remarks to the country last night. Like the president, they offered no new ideas, instead making it clear they're still deeply dug in. In a rare joint rebuttal, House Speaker Nancy Pelosi and Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer responding to President Trump Tuesday night for refusing to reopen the government unless he gets $5 billion for his border wall.
President Trump must stop holding the American people hostage, must stop manufacturing a crisis, and must reopen the government.
The Democratic leaders accuse the president of stoking fear and misrepresenting the facts.
The symbol of America should be the Statue of Liberty, not a 30-foot wall.
The fact is, some Democrats, including the Secure Fence Act of 2006, which authorized a 700-mile fence between the United States and Mexico.
We don't govern by temper tantrum.
Democrats blaming the bitter back and forth on the president as the shutdown now enters its 19th day.
He promised to keep government shut down for months or years, no matter whom it hurts. That's just plain wrong.
Even though House Democrats were well aware the spending bill they passed would not be taken up by the Senate or signed by the president because it included no new funds for the border wall. So where do negotiations go from here? With no indication a deal is in sight, President Trump will meet with Senate Republicans today, urging them not to break ranks.
If we undercut the president, that's the end of his presidency and the end of our party.
Then later, the president will huddle with congressional leaders of both parties in the Situation Room. Democratic leaders getting pressure from many in their own party not to negotiate, including freshman New York Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez.
I cannot tell you the amount of dysfunction that this president is advancing.
And to turn up the heat on the president, Democratic leaders have indicated they plan to introduce individual bills to try to reopen affected departments. But White House officials have indicated that that's a non-starter, citing the president's demand for border wall funding before he reopens the government.